Hello Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, and welcome to your reading. So Gemini, today we're going to go over your energy as well as your person's energy. We're going to see how the both of you are currently viewing this relationship and how you guys feel about it and what actions you guys plan on taking towards this direction and are moving forward. So with all that being said, Gemini, let's get started. So far we do have the Four of Cups and then we also have the Justice card. Let's see what else we can get. How does how does Gemini currently view this relationship? You could be dealing with a Libra, possibly a Cancer, maybe even a Leo. Okay, doesn't necessarily have to be the case. Let's focus on this energy really quickly here because I feel like this is kind of where you're at right at the moment, Gemini, energetically speaking, right? Currently at the moment, it looks like you're experiencing a lot of unhappiness as well as stagnancy, in your life for whatever reason. And with the Justice card to the Sun coming out here, I feel like what's standing in the way of you being happy all over again has a lot to do with you needing to make a really, really big decision, okay? I want to see the Four of Cups just to kind of get a rough idea of what's going on. Tell me more about the Four of Cups. So we have the Seven of Wands, so a Chariot, and then we also have the Five of Wands. Okay. Whatever this thing is that's making you extremely unhappy and is creating a lot of stagnancy into your life, to be honest, it does feel like a person. It does feel like a relationship. It does feel like a marriage, possibly, for some of you out there. I feel like you've tried to walk away in the past, but I feel like what would happen typically is that this person will, run after you or resurface back up here for you, preventing you from basically moving forward and moving on with your life, things of that nature, which kind of kept you stuck, I would say, within this dynamic between the two of you. Gemini, I just kind of feel like you're waiting for this person to give you permission to walk right out of this dynamic between the two of you, because that's kind of what it feels like. It kind of looks like the only reason why you've been in this dynamic is because every time you try to get up and go, this person will try to stop you, beg for you to stay. And even when you are successful and you do leave the relationship, they'll run right back to you, try to wiggle their way back into your life, and typically they're successful at it. But I just kind of feel like that's just kind of what it's starting to kind of look like, as well as feel like, that you're just waiting for this person to give you permission so that you can get up and leave and, live your life and be happy all over again. But I feel like this person makes it very impossible for you to do so. Is basically what I'm getting. I think that you have, obviously the free will, to get up and walk away from this relationship and never look back. I just kind of feel like you keep possibly allowing this person to wiggle their way back into your life and, call shots, I would say, on your life. If this person tells you, no, I'm not ready for you to walk out of my life, you know what I mean? I don't want to ever lose you. You know what I mean? I think that you tend to, give in every single time. You tend to give this person what it is that they want, from you. They want you to stay, you stay. They don't want you to walk out of, their life, you don't. You know what I mean? They want you back, you take them back. I think that you constantly give this person what they want over and over and over again, which could definitely explain why you're so unhappy with this person, because you're constantly giving them what they want over and over again, and that clashes with what you truly want at the end of the day. So this is like the epitome of putting your happiness on the back burner to make this individual happy. So every time you leave the relationship and they try to wiggle their way back into your life all over again, wanting you back, well, at the end of the day, them wanting you back is what's going to ultimately make them happy. It may not make you happy, but it'll make them happy. So then you turn around and you give them what it is that, they basically want, from you, is basically what I'm getting, Gemini. Like I said, you're putting your happiness on the back burner to make somebody else happy. And all of that could change if you just make the choice to stop doing that, to stop putting this person's happiness before your own, to stop living, your life the way that they want you to basically live it, How does this person currently view this relationship with Gemini? It's one of those situations, dude, where it's like, what's going to make them happy, it's not going to make you happy. And what's going to make you happy is not going to make them happy. What's going to make you happy is no longer having to deal with this human and all that comes with them. What's going to make them happy is to continue to keep you in their life and have you, basically, in their life. That's what's going to essentially make this person happy. And it kind of looks like this person has been getting their way with you time and time again. How does Gemini currently feel? All right, we have the Strength card, we got the Two of Cups, and then we also have the Wheel of Fortune out here. Two pair situation, by the way, between you and this person. The person that sits in the Chariot is the Emperor, and the person that's in the Strength card is the Empress. For some of you, you might have a family with this person. I'm definitely getting that for some of you out there. Or you guys could have had conversations about starting a family one day. You know, I am also getting that for some of you out there. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I feel like the main one of the other reasons, I'll say that one of the other reasons why this relationship between you and this person makes you so unhappy has a lot to do with the fact that, you know, this person does lack certain things that you truly want and desire within a person. Don't get me wrong. I think this person does possess a lot that you truly want and desire within a person, but there's certain things that this person does lack that you truly want and desire to have, as well as experience within a relationship and within a person. Anyways, with that being said, I think that you've been fighting to get this person to basically be who you want them to be and who you basically need them to basically be. And I think that at times, you know, this person can be, you know, the man of your dreams or the woman of your dreams. And I feel like there's times where they can't be. And I think that that's what also causes a lot of unhappiness, you know, within you. I think that that's what also causes a lot of tension and chaos between the two of you, because yeah, there are times where they could be everything that you need them to be, and there's times where they can't be everything that you need them to be. And I think that that discourages you. I think that that causes you to not want to continue to be a part of this relationship, and I also think that that makes you extremely unhappy. With the Strength card to Two of Cups, so Wheel of Fortune coming out here, this to me kind of feels like the reason, you know, why you continue to take this person back and why you continue to remain in this entire dynamic here between the two of you, despite the way that it makes you feel at times. And I feel like it has a lot to do with the fact that you see a lot of potential within this person. I think that you see the potential within them to become everything that you need them to be and or want them to be. And I think that that's what keeps you, I would say, in this dynamic here between the two of you, is because you do see the potential for them to be everything that you need them to be and or want them to basically be. Now, even though they're currently not that right now, I think that because you see so much potential in them, this is what kind of keeps you basically fighting. This is what causes you to want to take them back. This is what causes you to want to basically stay. How does this person currently feel? We have the King of Swords, we have the Eight of Wands, and then we also have the Devil out here. The bottom of the deck, we do have the Queen of Wands. We also have the King of Pentacles, and then we got the Knight of Wands, and then we also have the Two of Wands. Okay. In regards to how this person is currently feeling about you and this dynamic that they basically share with you, let's really break this down. I think that this person, the reason why you guys have a lot of fights and arguments has a lot to do with, you know, what I mentioned. There's times where they can show up and be what you need them to be, and there's times where they basically can't, is basically what I'm gathering. And that makes you extremely unhappy, and it causes you to question, why are you even with this human? This person's very big on telling you whatever it is that they think you want to essentially hear in order to keep you around, is basically what I'm getting. So if this person tells you, I promise Gemini, I'm going to change this about myself, I'm going to change that about myself, not only do they come off to me as somebody who's very convincing, but they also come off to me, you know, as somebody who, just like I said, is just very big on telling you whatever it is that they think you want to hear, whatever it is that they think they have to basically say to you, just to continue to basically keep you around. Why does this person do this to Gemini? We have the Seven of Pentacles. We got the Six of Cups. Okay. We have the Eight of Cups, the Eight of Wands. Okay, so the reason why this person does this is because they benefit a whole lot in having you basically in their life. At the end of the day, this person does view you in a very beautiful lighting. They do view you as somebody who loves them, cares about them, is invested in them. You know, they don't necessarily think that they're going to basically find what they share, you know, with you within anybody else, is basically what I'm gathering. So if they have to, you know, lie to you, you know, just to keep you in their life, then that's just what they're going to do. If they have to manipulate you, then that's just what they're going to have to do. If they have to gaslight you, then that's just what the hell they're going to have to do. If they have to, whatever, that's just what they're going to basically do. If that means, you know, being able to essentially continue to keep you basically. in their life is basically what I'm gathering. I just don't think that this person realizes that by being this way towards you, although it may have influenced you to take them back, run back to them, accept them back into your life, things of that nature, I don't think that this person basically realizes that, for one, you're a damn Gemini, and well, for two, you're going to eventually catch on and you're going to start to basically see it for yourself and realize it for yourself. That this person, they'll say whatever to you just to keep you in their life. And I think that you're going to catch on to it if you haven't already, and then you're going to start to peep it. And then once you do, you're going to start to kind of see the connection there, that this person, they only say things, to you that they think you basically want to hear just to basically keep you in their life. And in the end, it will result to them essentially losing you for good. Because instead of them putting the time, energy, and effort towards actually changing, they rather convince you that they're changing. They rather manipulate you into thinking that they're basically going to change, things of that nature, than actually putting in the work to basically change. I don't necessarily feel like you're the first person that this person has done this to. I think that they were dealing with someone prior to you, and that person could have been a fire sign strongly. So an Aries, Leo, Sag doesn't necessarily have to be the case, but I feel like this person did this to somebody else that they were dealing with prior to them basically meeting you. So this is something that this person typically does within romantic relationships. They'll sit there and tell that person whatever it is that they think that person wants to hear, just to basically keep them around, without the intentions of actually changing and putting in the work to become what that person needs them to basically become, is basically what I'm getting. Okay. What actions will this person take towards Gemini or moving forward? We have the Ace of Swords. We have the Empress to the Eight of Swords. Okay, at the bottom of the deck, we do have the Three of Swords. We do have the Ten of Cups. We got the Page of Wands. And then we also have the Emperor. See, even though this person has done this before in a previous relationship, and I keep getting that that person could have been a fire sign strongly. Anyways, even though this person has done this before, as far as telling the person that they're with whatever it is that they think they want to hear just to keep them around, with you, it's very, very, they're technically speaking doing the exact same thing that they've done to this person that they were with prior to you. But I feel like the loss of you would definitely hit this person, and it'll hit this person hard. And here's why. This person that they were dealing with in their past, it wasn't anybody that they were compatible with. It wasn't anybody that they meshed very, very well with. Not like they do with you. I mean, their relationship with you and this connection that they share with you is very, very different. It's like a night and day type of situation. They basically view you as somebody that they're very compatible with, somebody that they share a very strong and intense connection with. So basically losing you would really, really suck and would really, really hurt this person severely compared to this other relationship that they were in. Like, even though they ended up losing that person that they were with, it was kind of like a, whatever, I don't give a fuck, type of response towards the ending of that relationship. But with you, it wouldn't be, who cares, right? It would be a very painful experience for this person. And it's mainly because of you and the way that you are as a person, the way that the both of you are with one another, the connection that you guys share with one another, how compatible you guys basically are. And I don't think that they're going to essentially realize what they're actually putting at stake here by telling you whatever it is that they think you want to hear, but not actually putting in the work to basically change. Because there's going to come a point in time, and I can't emphasize this enough, you are a Gemini. You guys are going to start to realize that this person is just telling you whatever it is that they think you want to hear, and they're not actually putting in the work to change. Once you realize that, if you have not already, that's going to be what causes everything between the two of you to basically change. Because although these tactics that they've been using on you may have been working, for this long, there's going to come a point in time where that shit's not going to freaking work. You know what I mean? And I think that moment is definitely coming very soon, Gemini, if I'm being completely honest with you. I think that you're going to start to see right through this person's, BS. And I think that the relationship in itself is, more than likely at the verge of coming to an end, not because they want the relationship to come to an end, because you're going to start to see right through this person's BS. And I think that this moment needs to kind of happen, if you ask me, because it's going to put things into perspective for this person. It's going to cause this person to realize that they are putting something that they never want to essentially lose in jeopardy. because they refuse to put in the actual work to essentially change. They rather put in the work to convince you that they're going to change than actually putting in the work to change, if that makes absolutely any sense. What actions will Gemini take towards this person? Okay, or moving forward. Okay, I like this. We have the High Priestess of Seven of Cups to the Tower. I think that in the near future, you're going to see right through this person's, BS. I think that you're going to start to see the pattern for sure. I mean, you're a Gemini, you know what I mean? You guys are very vigilant people. You guys basically peep everything. So, with that being said, I think that you're going to start to notice a pattern. I think that you're going to start to see through the BS. And I think that that's when things are going to drastically change within you. You're not going to basically look at this person as somebody who truly does care about you. You're going to look at this person as somebody, who doesn't really care to put in the work to change it, and doesn't necessarily mind if it's affecting you in a negative way. And when your perception of this individual changes in a very, very negative way, so will your emotions for this person. You'll go from being emotionally invested and head over heels in love with them to not in love with them whatsoever. Now, here's how I basically see this all playing out, okay? Things on your end are going to start to change because your perception of them is going to start to drastically change, is basically what I'm getting. And I think that that's when this person's going to notice a significant change within your energy, which is going to raise a boatload of concern for them, because they're going to start to essentially feel like the relationship in itself could potentially be coming to an end between the two of you. And that's when I see this person freaking out, is basically what I'm getting. That's when I see this person kind of freaking out and being very worried and concerned about their relationship, with you, and also the state that it's basically in. What else can you tell me for this person? We do have the World to the Six of Cups, and then we also have the Six of Wands. At the bottom of the deck, we do have the Judgment card to the Sun, to the Nine of Pentacles, to the Ten of Swords. See, here's the thing. And like I said, I think that this moment needs to honestly happen, because I don't see you leaving the relationship right away. I mean, do I see you seeing through this person's BS and their crap? Sure, I do definitely see that happening. And it's going to influence you to move differently within your relationship with this person. You won't find yourself as emotionally invested into this human being like you once upon a time were. If you were the type of person that was constantly wondering where this person's at, who this person's with, you're not going to give a shit about any of those things anymore, is basically what I'm getting. You're going to check out emotionally from this entire situation, and then start the whole process of checking out mentally from the situation. And it's going to influence you to move differently within this relationship. So yeah, of course, you're going to notice a significant change within your energy, because you're already starting the process of checking out emotionally, as well as basically mentally. And I think that that's when this person's going to essentially realize that the relationship between the two of you could be potentially coming to an end. They're going to also feel like the relationship between the two of you is just simply not the same, because you're not the same anymore. With them, they're going to notice a change within you and your energy. You're going to be more withdrawn. You're going to be more detached, things of that nature. And once this person notices that, they're going to know the real reason why it's even freaking happening to begin with. And it has a lot to do with the fact that this person rather put far more time, energy, and effort towards convincing you that they're going to change than actually putting in the work to change. You catch my drift? This person, rather live a life with you where their words don't match up with their actions, still living a life with you where their words actually do match up with their actions. And like I said, it's going to cause this person to freak out. It's going to cause this person to realize that they either need to be the person that you need them to be, or they're going to end up basically losing you for good. There is no other way around, this, because I think that this person is going to start to, like I said, just realize that you're just not the same, anymore. And they're going to be able to obviously identify why that is. And it has a lot to do with the fact that this person, they rather talk a good game than actually put in the work to change. And to be honest, they've really brought this moment upon themselves. Now, like I said, there's a big difference between you and this person from their past, Gemini. Like this person from their past, like even though that person started drifting away and, started changing, they didn't really give a shit. You know what I mean? I can't emphasize that enough. I know that makes them sound very cold and very detached, but they really didn't fucking care. Like they really didn't care that that person was becoming withdrawn or detached. They didn't care. They didn't feel a very strong, intense connection with that person like they do with you. They weren't that compatible to that other individual like they were with you. You see what I mean? I just kind of feel like this person has a really bad freaking habit of telling people whatever it is that they think they want that person to hear, just to get them to stop complaining or whatever they like, or, you know, have their way with that person. But I think that this person's realizing that being that way within this dynamic that they share with you is only going to resort into them essentially permanently losing you for good one day. And I think that that day is near. I think that they can sense it. I think that they can feel it. I think that they can just see it, you know, when they basically look at you, that you're drifting away. You're drifting away. And I think that it's going to definitely influence this person to show up in the ways that you need them to essentially show up. Now, the only thing is that I don't know if it's going to be a too late type of situation for this person, because once you start to check out emotionally from the situation, I don't see this person kind of catching on that quickly, that you're like detaching emotionally from them. I think that they're going to start to you know, realize and recognize that change within you when you start the whole process of checking out mentally, like right when you're halfway towards, you know, done, you know, checking out, you know, mentally, you know, is concerned. I think that that's when this person's going to step up, and that's when this person's going to try to be, you know, the man of your dreams or the woman of your dreams. Is there a possibility that this person still may have time to like win you back and get you to fall back in love with them? Sure, that's a possibility. But there's also a possibility that, you know, it might be too late, you know, because I've personally never seen a person check out mentally. And I'm sorry, I never personally seen a person check out emotionally and then check out halfway mentally, and that person that they were dealing with was able to get them back, you know? Because by the time this person steps up to the plate and be the man that you need them to be, or the woman that you need them to be, you're going to already be halfway like done with checking out mentally, you know, is concerned. So by that time, you may not care that this person's showing up in the ways you need them to show up. You may not care that this person's putting in the work to basically change and be everything that you need them to. You may not freaking care by that moment. You know what I mean? You may not freaking care, or you might, you know, or you might, but the decision is entirely up to you. I mean, you get to decide in the end how this all plays out, whether it's the two of you working things out in the end or the two of you not working things out in the end. But just know that as you are halfway towards checking out mentally, this person will show up and be, you know, what you need them to essentially be, because they're going to realize that's the only way to honestly keep you around for good, because that's what they want, right? Is to be able to keep you around for good. I just feel like this person learned this really badass behavior in this previous relationship of, I'm just going to tell her whatever it is I think she wants to, or I'm just going to tell him whatever it is that he thinks, you know, or I'm just going to tell him whatever it is that I think he wants to hear, things like that. I feel like they learned this bad behavior in this previous relationship, and I think that this person thought they could just kind of use it on you, and, you know, it'll help them get very, very far with you. But the thing is that even though, yes, it has helped them get very, very far with you, that strategy, that tactic that they've been using on you, the same tactic and strategy they used on this person that they were dealing with prior to you, it's not going to fucking work anymore. It's not going to work. It's coming to an end, and it's forcing this person to either do one or two things: either be the person that you need them to be, or step to the side and allow somebody else to do the job for them. You know what I mean? That's the only options that this person really has. And that's another thing too, which I forgot to mention. When it comes on to stepping to the side and allowing somebody else to come along and basically love you in the ways that they couldn't, treat you in the ways that they couldn't, that's just not something that fucking sits well with this one over here. That's another thing too, because this one over here comes off to me as somebody who's like very possessive over you. Like, they kind of look at you like you're their property, if you will. So they don't want anybody like touching you or having you in the ways that they were able to basically have you, if that makes any sense. So these are things that this person wants to basically prevent from happening. And this is exactly why every time more than likely you guys break up, they're always trying to run back to you, trying to like butter you up, call you a biscuit, get you back, because they're trying to prevent you from moving forward and moving on with your life, but they're also trying to prevent somebody else from coming along and taking you away from them for good. And I think that towards the end, they're going to start to realize the only way to keep you in their life is to basically make you happy, is to basically show up in the ways that you need them to essentially show up. Because if they don't, you know what I mean, they run the risk of losing you, but they also run the risk of somebody else having you, which is two things they do not want to basically experience. So then there's that. But yeah, that's what I have for you, my friend. Hopefully the reading helped. Hopefully it resonated, and I will see you guys in your next reading.